Hi everybody, and welcome to the Houston Zoo Facebook Live here in the Galapagos Islands exhibit here in the One Ocean exhibit area. And today we're going to be focusing on our green sea turtle, Bobbi. She's currently hanging out at the surface of the exhibit towards the back. She is 50 pounds as of a month ago, and she's just cruising right now. She's been hanging out at the bottom of the exhibit for quite some time. She typically will hang out at the bottom for about 45 minutes to an hour, give or take, or even shorter, around 20 minutes. She got a little startled right there. Don't worry, she just spooks herself once in a while. She's not freaked out by us watching her. She's just checking us out a little bit. She is a green sea turtle, so those are the largest sea turtles, and those are the second largest sea turtle. The first one is a leatherback sea turtle, and you can find green sea turtles in the Galapagos Islands exhibit. As you saw, there was a black-tipped reef shark that just swam by Bobbi. Don't worry, our sharks here do not bother our sea turtle at all. They looked at each other when they first entered into this exhibit, and they just looked at each other and then swam the other way, and they've been fine ever since. Now, this exhibit is supposed to be a replica of what you would see underneath the water here at the Galapagos Islands. As you can see, there's a bunch of fish, some coral reefs, and don't worry, Bobbi has decided to nip at some of these, but she cannot eat any of them, thankfully. So they are all fake. We do have some real coral in another exhibit area. As you can see, Bobbi is heading towards an area that you will not be able to see here at the zoo, only if you're a staff member, and that's our holding pool. That's where we primarily feed her so that she gets her meat and her vegetables as well. She is considered still a juvenile sea turtle. She was brought to us in 2019 because she did have some swimming behaviors that were a bit off, and luckily she needed a bigger exhibit. She still exhibits those odd swimming behaviors, so we do require her to stay here permanently. Her favorite food items is squid, and that's not calamari, which is fried. It is actually raw squid, which we source from a sustainable source for seafood, so we do not impact her friends out in the wild. And she's a little picky about what type of vegetables she likes to eat. She is a fan of romaine lettuce, and she loves some green leafy lettuce as well. She's not really a fan of bok choy. She has eaten it in the past, and she has eaten red leafy lettuce, but she does not want to eat that anymore. We have tried kale for all those superfood fans. She does not like kale the least bit. We've even tried to wrap the kale with some romaine lettuce, and she just eats the romaine around the kale. That's just how it works. So with this exhibit, we definitely wanted to show the illusion of being in the open ocean off the coast of the Galapagos Islands. As you can see, there is quite a few fish here. The yellow ones are our butterfly fish of various species. We have our raccoon fish, and then of course we have our barber fish that we clearly see right now. And we have some other fish as well, such as a yellow wrasse and some blue tangs that look like dory, and of course a favorite that just passed by, which was the puffer fish. It's really hard to get a video of him because he just swims really fast. And the reason why we're focusing on Bobbi today is because we're going to be celebrating World Sea Turtle Day that's coming up, where we want to make sure that we protect these creatures here in the open ocean and make sure that we don't disturb their nesting sites as well, and help our partners such as the Gulf Center for Sea Turtle Research at Texas A&M University in Galveston with their efforts to conserve sea turtles and learn more about them. One of the ways that you can help reduce and help sea turtles in the wild is by reducing your plastic usage. Sea turtles just see something and they try to eat it, and it causes a lot of issues underneath. in their body. So one way of doing that is either reusing your plastic bags that you already have, reducing buying products that are not in plastic to begin with, but maybe in glass or aluminum that can be reused over and over. Or if you do have to use plastic, reuse it over and again till it wears out its time, and then recycle it. That's going to be the best way to help Bobbi, the green sea turtle, and his friends in the wild. Now, as you're seeing right now, Bobbi is hanging out near one of her favorite scratching spots. As you can see, her fins don't really reach the back of her shell, so she has to find something to scratch it with on occasion. There's about 6 or 7 different species of sea turtles in the world, starting with the biggest one, the leatherback sea turtle. Then of course, you have the green sea turtle, which Bobbi is. Then a loggerhead sea turtle. Then you have a Kemp's Ridley, which is actually a native sea turtle to the Texas coast, as well as an Olive's Ridley, which is out in the Pacific Ocean. A flatback sea turtle, that's more of the Pacific Ocean realm. And a hawksbill sea turtle, which have these very lovely, beautiful shells, just as much as beautiful as the green sea turtle. Now, this is Bobbi's, one of her main spots that you can always find her, which is in the bottom left corner of the exhibit. She has a friend right here, this yellow wrasse that likes to hang out here and live here. And on occasion in the wild, these wrasses would actually pick at any parasites or any other unwanted debris that may be on Bobbi in the wild. But right here, she's got a clean bill of health, so she's doing just fine. And this wrasse gets fed around 9:30 today with a bunch of the rest of our fish here at the exhibit. Now we make sure that we don't have any other fish get eaten here in this exhibit by feeding our sharks 4 times a day, every single day. We have 2 species of sharks, our blacktip reef shark right here, as you can see, swimming near the surface. And then towards the back right now that we can't see is our bonnet head sharks that look like hammerheads, but they're slightly different because hammerheads are a lot bigger. These guys are going to be a lot smaller. Our blacktip reef shark's favorite food item is called a mullet. It's a very hard scaled fish, and it's probably about like 6 inches or shorter, and they really love those type of food items that we give them. Again, we sustainably source all of our seafood here at the Houston Zoo to not impact anybody. Now, of course, a favorite of everyone here at the Houston Zoo is, of course, the guinea fowl puffer. He's got some nice teeth on him where he likes to chomp, and he is very personable. He will actually follow the scuba divers that we have in this exhibit once in a while, and sometimes he may even follow one of the public guests here at the Houston Zoo. He is quite comical, and he is showing his teeth just a little bit nowadays, but he is just rearing to go, ready to get some food right now, and just motorboating through the exhibit. So if you ever go to the beach this summer for a vacation or just to a fishing pier for whatever you need, if you do see a stranded or injured sea turtle,
welcome to the Houston Zoo. During your visit, make sure to catch one of our Meet the Keeper talks, presented by Phillips 66, to learn more about the fascinating animals here at the zoo. Visit our website, houstonzoo.org, for a full schedule. Buenos días y bienvenidos al Houston Zoo. Durante su visita, asegúrese de asistir a una de nuestras
just give us 1 minute, guys.
presentadas por Phillips 66 para aprender más sobre los fascinantes animales aquí en el zoológico. Visite nuestra página web houstonzoo.org para el horario completo.
Like I was saying, if you guys decide to go on vacation to the beach or just go fishing for a day, if you see any stranded or injured sea turtle at all, you can call 1-866-TURTLE 5 for our sea turtle team to come and help them and evaluate them like they did with Bobbi the sea turtle. And it's really great help if you do so, and that's even for sighting, so they know where to keep an eye out for the sea turtles here in the Gulf Coast. As you can see, Bobbi is currently just resting her right now, but she is also scratching her left side of her shell towards her back. Don't worry if you saw her eat some of the gravel. She does get rid of it eventually. We have seen that in her holding pool, which is where she resides for overnight stays. So every single animal you see in this exhibit is an animal that is native to the Galapagos Islands, with the exception of our stingrays at the moment. But you would find swarms of these animals, or should I say schools of these animals in the Galapagos Islands, to where it's pretty thick and you can't see through it. Or you'll see them just as many as you see here at the Houston Zoo at our One Ocean exhibit. So Bobbi's personality is a bit on the high-end snooty kind. She likes her meat, she'll eat it however she wants, but when it comes to her lettuce and her vegetables, she wants a very specific kind, and she'll turn her nose up at it, or she'll just look at it and then just turn away. She's very snooty when it comes to her lettuce. A fun fact about sea turtles is that males will actually have longer tails than females, and that's one way of indicating what gender they are. We have done a blood draw on Bobbi to determine what sex she is, and we did find out she is a girl. She will not be exhibiting her large size yet, but she is 50 pounds as of last month. She was rescued back in 2018, and she was only a third of a pound when she was rescued, and about 10 centimeters was her length. That's the length of her shell. So when we do measurements of sea turtles, we typically measure their shell length, their shell width, and their belly size as well, which is what we call a plastrum. Green sea turtles will typically, when they're juveniles, will hang out near the coastline, which is why it's imperative that if you do go fishing, to make sure you deposit your extra fishing line into the proper receptacle, or take it home with you so you don't accidentally cause a sea turtle to get tangled up in it. So we make sure that so when we feed our sharks, we do have to feed our fish at the same time, because sometimes the fish actually will bother the sharks. The sharks don't really bother the fish. Sharks just want to do their own thing. Sharks have a similar personality as a house cat. They're very particular on what type of food, how they get their food, and who's around them, and if they even want to eat their food. Fish, on the other hand, just want to eat anything that's thrown into the water, even if it's just random stuff like poop or other algae or plants that come in here. Because we do have fish that will eat red leafy lettuce as well. So Wendy asks, are there plans on getting other shark species? At the moment, no. We currently have only 2 shark species. Before we decommissioned our Kip aquarium back in 2019, 2020, we did have some bamboo sharks, and those have been rehomed to Moody Gardens. So if you want to see former residents of that aquarium, you can go down to Moody and check it out. But we are only getting these type of species of sharks. The only other species that we're planning on getting is spotted eagle rays. We're just working on making sure that their home at the moment is ready for them, and it currently isn't, so we're in a waiting period for that. As you can clearly see, those are razor sturgeon fish, and they look like Dory, but they're a lot lighter blue and they have a yellow tail. Dory from Finding Nemo does not have that in her coloration. They are currently eating the algae that is growing on the rock sculptures, and that's a good thing. That actually helps our divers when we come into this exhibit every Tuesday around 10:30 and clean it up. Claudia asks, what is the biggest shark species at the zoo? That would be our black-tipped reef sharks. We're actually going to be doing a physical on our sharks in the next coming weeks, so we will be able to have measurements soon on them. The weight we have on them at the moment is 7 to 9 pounds. They're pretty big sharks. They'll probably grow to be as long as 5 feet or so, but they won't be getting any bigger. These guys are predominantly found near coral reefs, and most sharks that live near coral reefs are going to be a little bit smaller than the sharks that live in the open waters, such as whale sharks, hammerhead sharks, and great whites. They typically live out in the open ocean. They're going to be a lot bigger. These guys live near corals. They're going to be a little bit smaller. We have 2 species of sharks in this exhibit. We have the black-tip reef sharks and the bonnethead sharks. They're hanging out in the back right now. They're a little camera shy at the moment. We do have our cow-nose stingrays that are hanging out right in front of us. These are all females with the exception of 1 male. We did have a birth happen about 2 to 3 years ago. She was born to her mom and dad in our holding pool because this area wasn't ready yet. And I believe she decided to come to the front right now, and you're looking at her at the moment. She's a little bit smaller, as you can see. She's just as hungry as her parents and her aunts, and she's doing just great. So Bobbi weighed about 0.35 pounds when she was found, and now she is 50 pounds. So she's been putting on weight. That's a good thing for sea turtles. We want them to put on weight, and she's been getting the proper nutrition as well. She's been getting a variety of vegetables. We have fed her cucumbers, zucchini, and carrots on occasion, and of course the romaine lettuce and the green leafy lettuce are her favorites. We've also tried a variety of different types of lettuce variety. We have tried cabbage. She does not like it. We have tried spinach, and she does not like that either. Cassie asked, where can we find this area in the zoo? Well, when you first walk into the zoo, as soon as you look to your right, you'll see this big exhibit for our sea lions. And as soon as you start walking next to the sea lion exhibit and staying to your right, you'll eventually enter into a nice air-conditioned building where you will eventually find the One Ocean exhibit. So on your summers and you need to find some place that has air conditioning, come to the Houston Zoo. We got a big building where you can get out of the sun and sit down for a minute and just watch our lovely fish right here and sharks and stingrays. And of course Bobbi, as she's getting down to her favorite spot at the moment. And just relax. It's a nice peaceful place. Wendy asks, what is your favorite species / shark species? My favorite in here is the green sea turtle is my favorite, of course, because I've been able to take care of her and watch her grow since 2019. And of course, my favorite fish species is the guinea fowl puffer, who's currently making his laps around the exhibit at the moment. He's got definitely a personality. He tends to think he's just as big as the sharks, but sadly he is not as big as the sharks, so we have to make sure that he gets distracted when we feed the sharks as well, so he doesn't tempt to eat the shark's food. So those are my favorites. He's just got a great personality. He can even see you from very far away. Got great eyesight. Bobbi's just always a treat. She's always interested in what's going on. I was working on the upper area of this One Ocean exhibit, and she just hung out with me for the whole 20 minutes. And then when I left, she went back into the exhibit. So make sure, because tomorrow is World Sea Turtle Day, by coming and visiting the Galapagos here at the Houston Zoo, and your money that you pay for your ticket actually contributes to the care and the research of green sea turtles, just like Bobbi. And we hope you have a great morning, and we hope you have a great afternoon and rest of your day.